Hi everyone, it's Agata from Simply Grow, and today we're going to chat to Wioleta Kelly, who is an interior designer, and we're going to ask you questions about arranging our perfect nursery, moving it into a toddler room, and some of the DIY projects you can do during lockdown. Hi Violeta, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Not too bad, thank you. Would you mind introducing yourself a little bit to everyone watching us today?
Yeah, no problem. My name is Wioleta Kelly. I'm a Polish lady living in Ireland for the last 14 years. I'm an interior designer, owner of Abbeyfeale Interior Design, and I'm a mommy of Max and Zoe, 8-month-old twins.
Wow. So obviously you've got your hands full. So thank you so much for chatting to us tonight. I really appreciate that. And I know how precious your time is, so we're going to jump straight into questions. And the first question is, what would be your three golden rules when it comes to arranging your nursery?
Storage, storage, and storage. But no, to be serious, storage will be number one, obviously. I never knew how many things little babies have, how many clothes or how many toys, so that's obviously very important. Number two would be get things that are practical but pretty as well. You're going to spend loads of time in that room, so it's good to have pretty things to look at. And number three, get a wall lamp or some soft glow lamp, giving soft lamp for night peaks. Unfortunately, that's the one thing I forgot in the nursery. I'm just looking for lamp now.
Very good. I can recommend salt lamps. I don't know if you've seen
I
those
have
before.
one, yes, in
Yep,
sitting room.
I love those. So
I
we've
can
got two in our bedroom as our bedroom lights, and I've got a small one for Amy's room as well. There's just something really nice about them, isn't there? Just really calming, and they're supposed to have some special properties as well, which I'm not sure I believe, but just really nice ambience from those.
Yeah, it
Thank you
is
so much.
nice
It's so
soft
important.
glow.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's so important to give these practical tips because I think when it comes to organizing your first nursery as a parent to be, there are just so many things to consider. It can be a bit overwhelmed with other information on Pinterest and what people are telling you and your personal taste as well. So I think it's so important when it comes to storage because you often see those nurseries that look quite bare with just the cot and a few accessories, but actually storage is so important, isn't
Yeah.
it?
We have four wardrobes from IKEA, and I feel that it's not even enough. So I'm thinking of adding maybe a few shelves into them to kind of utilize storage as much as I can, but definitely storage is the biggest thing
Yeah.
in nursery.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And now, when it comes to playroom, because some people, especially when they are tight on space, they would organize little playroom in the nursery. Some people use their living area, their lounge, their living room for playroom. What would be your advice of the best positioning of the playroom, and what should we bear in mind arranging it?
So I think baskets and open kind of open things for storage are important because I think not only they're easier to put toys inside, but there are we can you can have them around the house. So obviously children have so many toys and they kind of move around the houses during the day. So you end up at the end of the day you end up with loads of toys. So have just a basket or a little kind of pretty storage kind of I don't know bags for toys around the house to kind of clean your house at the end of the day. But open storage is very important as well when it comes to playroom or that's the play area in nursery. Um, Children, when they're young, they won't be able to do it, but when they grow older, I think it's important to teach them from the young age to clean after themselves, and it's going to be easier for them to put away toys into open baskets or open bags or anything like that. Try to use things that have double duty as well. So, for example, benches are brilliant because not only you can store things underneath them, but children can play on top of them. They can sit or they can eat on top of them, or things like that. They're very useful. They look pretty and they're great for storage.
Fantastic. And now, when it comes to thinking about playroom and nursery, are there any color trends really popular right now?
I don't follow color trends. I try to set my own trend,
Very good.
but yeah, but I don't believe that having very colorful playroom or nursery is a good idea. At the end of the day, children have so many colorful toys. Any vibrant colors that you add to the room just makes the room kind of very busy looking. So the secret into decorating a nursery is to having a neutral color scheme and to calm down all the colors. At the end of the day, children sleep there, so it can be very vibrant. It has to be relaxing for them.
Absolutely. Unless you are choosing one of Simply Grow's nursery prints, then obviously it's really
Yes.
nice add-on of color that is
Well,
going to.
our nursery is very neutral, and the posters are there, and they're vibrant. And as I said, they look perfect because everything is neutral. So yeah.
Fantastic. So if you're interested, you know where to look for that. Thank you so much for that. And now, when it comes to we mentioned the storage for the playroom and a little bit about nursery. Now, when it comes to transition between the nursery and the toddler room, because very often we spend so much time when we still have the time before the baby is born to plan the perfect nursery and go into different schemes and have the nursery of the dreams, but then before we know it, our baby is not a baby anymore and we have to change that room to serve the needs of a toddler or a preschooler. So are there any things, especially on a tight budget or tight space, that we can do to transition that room easily and kind of meet the needs of our child as they grow older?
First of all, try to avoid themed rooms. That's the biggest advice I can give you. Children always grow out of themed decorations, so try to avoid themed stickers on the walls or anything like that. If you're going for it, if you really want it, try to pick items that are easy and cheap to change over the time. So that's number one. Number two, obviously, you're going to change your coat into the bed, so make sure you have enough space for that. As you know, I have two wardrobes in between one coat, so I made sure these wardrobes are actually narrow enough so the single bed would actually fit there perfectly. So that's another great tip. Neutral color scheme, something that I said before, but again, if your children will, for example, if you have a little girl and she wants pink, you'll be able to add maybe pink bedding. Little Woods, H&M Home and IKEA have amazing colorful bedding for little toddlers. So anything like that would be great for new toddlers room.
Fantastic. And so interesting you said, with girls in pink. I remember when Amy was born, I was determined that she's not going to be a pink girl. Introduced all the colors of the rainbow with her toys, with giving her choices. And if you ask about her favorite color now, it's pink, blue, and purple.
Yeah. And I see that a lot in my clients' houses. A little girl wants pink, and it's like explosion of pink in the room. So the biggest advice I can give you is pick that pink color and add it in 3 to 5 places around the room, and that's enough to keep her happy.
Yeah, and then you can just replace these and keep your neutral colors and just put different colors when they become teenagers and they want everything black. It will be nice to just change it into black cushions.
Yeah,
good.
But black isn't such a bad color. Once you keep nice and vibrant colors with it, it's actually nice. We had black hallway before, and it was an amazing color to have, actually.
Very good. I don't know what Amy's going to go for because I just said black. She'll probably have everything black as soon as she's a teenager. But it's so funny. I think it's just unavoidable because, girls are just surrounded by pink. Peppa is pink. Sky from Paw Patrol is pink. So
yeah, we live in very pink world. Yeah. Everything for girls is pink and for boys is blue. I see that especially with twins.
Yeah, definitely. But I suppose for you, well, with twins, if you've got a boy and a girl, it's easy to differentiate between them. But if you've got
they like to have similar clothes on two of them, and it's impossible.
Oh dear. And now, just to detract a little bit from our chat about interior design, because we just mentioned the journey from a baby room, a nursery, into a toddler room. But I know you had quite a journey as well when it comes to becoming a mum, and it has been quite a process, quite a journey for you. Would you mind sharing it a little bit with everyone?
Oh yeah. So we were trying to have a baby for 7 years. So I had a few miscarriages, but at the end of our journey, we decided to go for adoption. But just before that, we said that we'll go for IVF. So the first one didn't work for us, and I got really upset over it. It's such a hard thing for the body with all the injections that you have to give yourself, and I always stress about the injections because it's such an awful thing to inject yourself. I don't know. That was the most stressful part for me. But so I decided to give myself 3 months to kind of set my mind in the right place and to give myself that one last chance. So it worked. So now we have Max and Zoe thanks to that.
That's fantastic. And I think thank you so much for sharing it, because I checked with you before our recording if it's okay. And you did say that actually talking about it helps. And I think also for anyone watching us who might be going through a similar journey, especially now during lockdown.
Yeah, it's a very
With
lonely journey as well. No one ever talks about it. So you every time you have a heartache because it didn't work, something didn't work out, or some other friend has a new baby, and you're still left without any. You're left on your own. So yeah, I often cried on my own. Without telling or talking to anyone.
mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, I was blessed to have my sister-in-law that she's going through the same process. So at the end, I had someone to talk to, so that helped a lot.
Mm-hmm. I think also, as you said, the awareness around miscarriage is just very, very poor. With
Mhm.
I think is it 1 in 4, 1 in 5.
I actually don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that the statistics are quite high, and the fact that there isn't enough support. If it happens and you're in employment, you don't get the same support as you would in other traumatic situations. So I think it's important to talk about it, to get it off your chest, but also to increase the awareness and make people realize that it's not just you going through it. There might be people around you without you
There's
realizing who.
lots of people around us who just don't realize that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for sharing it. Really appreciate it.
Mhm.
And now we mentioned the baby room and the toddler room, and you now talked about your journey as well. And you have got twins. So I'm sure lots of people ask you the question, how do you do it? But I know that you are also a fan of DIY. So not only you've got twins and you've got your own business, but you also do lots of DIY projects. And now during lockdown there aren't as many. But I would like you to give us some tips if anyone would like to do any DIY projects at home, especially now during lockdown. Is there anything that we should bear in mind when it comes to ideas?
Just keep your mind open for new ideas and don't be scared of it. I often start a new DIY without knowing will the results will be actually okay or is it going to be a total disaster. And guess what? It's usually amazing. So you're going to surprise yourself. Just start. Just start. That's all you have to do. Start doing something. So great few ideas for DIYs during the lockdown would be painting a mural on your wall. I painted two, and I'm really happy with them. If you want to decorate children's playroom or a nursery, you can create a chalkboard. You can get spray chalk paint, and it takes only a few seconds to paint something with it. So you can get a piece of clay wood for a few euro in Woodies and B&Qs, and all these DIY shops are open now. And you can create something amazing for just few euro and few minutes of your time. Another great idea during the lockdown, it's not much DIY, it's more of a craft. Push needling. It's so simple, it's so therapeutic, did I say it right? So relaxing. Yeah, I would highly recommend it.
And how does it work? So what do you have to do and what can you make with it? Does that make sense?
So you can make anything. So I made a cushion, I made a cover for our bench, and I'm just in the process of decorating a stool as well for baby's nursery. But it's really simple. All you need is a fabric, special needle, which is about that size, and wool that you can get nearly everywhere, especially pound shops or little kind of Mr. Price or places like that. I don't know, do you have them over in England?
Not all of
They
them, but
usually
some of
cost
them, yeah.
okay deals or places like that. The wool is really cheap to get, so it's a cheap craft but really beautiful, I think.
Okay, definitely need to put that in the notes to our chat if anyone would like to look into it. That's fantastic, because I think so many of us are now just fed up with lockdown and we just walk around the house and have silly ideas of knocking down walls. And instead of knocking any walls, just make sure you get yourself a needle and do some punching with it.
You can do it while watching telly or I don't know, when babies are sleeping.
As you said, it's probably quite therapeutic, so it's a good idea to look after yourself, find some mean time, and maybe think that you just found a new hobby during lockdown. That would be great. And now, with the services that you offer and how people can reach you, obviously it's a bit more difficult now with everything being shut. What is the best way to reach you? I know that you're super busy and you've got over 14,000 followers on Instagram here, and I'm sure they all bombard you with questions all the time, which is lovely.
Yeah, I love it.
You keep yourself busy. But what is the best way to reach you, and what kind of services do you offer?
So right now, the best way to reach me is actually via email or via Instagram or via messages on my Facebook business page. I don't. I'm busy with things during the day, and my phone is on silence because I never know kind of what's going to happen, or So phone isn't the best way to
Yeah.
contact days, unfortunately. Maybe when lockdown will be over and get back to normal, things will get back to normal. We'll be okay with that, but. So that will be that. The services that I offer are only two right now, unfortunately, because of the restrictions. So I offer online color consultations and online room consultations.
Okay, okay. And you also did a very successful online workshop with an amazing price tag, very, very attractive. Would you mind telling us a bit more about it? Because I know the next one is coming up, and is it June?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and at the beginning of June, I'm going to start advertising it or talking about it in few days' time on Instagram. It's called How to Give Your Home a Wow Factor. It's an online interior design course. We run it on Facebook in a private group. So we have only limited spaces available, but it costs €49, and not only you will learn loads, and I mean loads during that week, but we also help you to improve one room of your choice, and I think that's the reason the course is so popular.
That's fantastic. Sounds great. So guys, keep an eye on Wioleta's Instagram and Facebook, as the details will be released there. I'm going to move on now to the question that I usually ask at the end of the chat with our Simply Growers guests. What 3 things do you do for your personal growth? I know it's a silly question to ask because you're just so busy that I'm sure there isn't an awful lot of time. But asking that question already, I found that all the entrepreneurs and all the ladies I was chatting to so far just happen to be ladies with their own businesses, that we all have the same thing in common with passion for learning and for research and for different things. I'm sure there's an element of that with you too. And with Simply Grow, it's not just about sensory classes, it's about your personal growth as a parent, as a person. As I'm sure we all agree that as soon as you become a parent, that personal growth is just even more intense, and you start reflecting on your childhood and different things that maybe happened or didn't happen, and then you think about your own children, and you kind of grow,
become the best person for your children, of course.
And you grow with them as they do. So what things do you do for your own personal growth?
I try to learn as much as I can, and I'm hungry for information all the time. Our work changed, so I think it's important to learn new things all the time. So that's number 1. Number 2, I think that's my favorite. I think that scares me, but it's my favorite. Do something out of your comfort zone. So for example, talking to you today was totally out of my comfort zone. It was something I never did before. But I've learned over the years that every time I do something like that, good things come out of it. So totally try to do something that scares you.
Yeah, fantastic. And that's a great advice, especially now, as we said, in lockdown. There's so many things happening online that you can try, maybe, as you said, out of your comfort zone. But it's a great time to try it now without worrying about losing face and looking silly in front of your friends. Thank you so much for chatting to me today.
Thank you
I know
for
we're a
having
bit tight on time as we had some technical difficulties before, but I really appreciate it. And I'm going to make that available on Instagram and YouTube, and we'll probably write a little blog post that we can put on our websites for anyone who prefers to read rather than watch. But thank you so much.
Thank
Please
you,
reach
Agata,
out
for
to
having
Wioleta, because she is super talented. She's a DIY queen, and she is a fountain of ideas when it comes to interior design. And I absolutely love your Instagram. It's just so pleasing to look at. I actually know for self-care as well, just scroll through Wioleta's Instagram grid. Thank you so much.
Thank
Please
you.
stay safe. I'm sure we'll be in touch and we'll chat again soon. And thank you so much for finding the time.
Thank you. It was lovely talking to you. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.